From Chael Sonnen thinking Dana was curving the bout, to fans being bummed out about not getting to see their favorite fighter win, here's Dana White shutting down Jon Jones and Tyson Fury's UFC fight. You see, the whole thing's incredibly complicated, because previously you could swear on anything that Dana was fangirling over this fight. He seemed like the happiest person in the room when Joe Rogan started the whole thing between Jones and Fury, making sure the fans were hyped, as he was really gonna make it happen. White also made it clear that fans knew who he was supporting in the weird Fury, Jones, and Ngannou love triangle. Don't get me wrong, the whole thing seemed very real. So much so that even the famous MMA media source, Fight Oracle, claimed that Jones allegedly showed him conversations with Fury, in which they were talking about some sort of two-fight contract to test both scenarios, which is as close as it gets to happening. Because according to Oracle, the texts suggested one UFC match and the other being Fury's thing, and if you ask me, I think the problem started with Fury. Because frankly, it was Fury who kinda ducked MMA. When reporters asked Tony Bellew about the whole Jones versus Fury thing, he only had one response, which was somewhat the same as Rogan. He said Fury wasn't too aware of how extreme MMA was as a sport, and although the Gypsy King was being cocky, he's one grapple away from Jones tearing his limbs off. And that's why he's so excited about making it happen, with the promise of providing Fury a huge edge in the squared space where the Gypsy King said he belonged. Jones was really looking forward to Dana making it happen so everyone could settle the baddest man on the planet debate once and for all. Because Jones is game for anything, he was super excited to face the boxing legend. What's more important is Fury even admitted that White sent him an offer. But you know how Fury has been. He's way too stubborn to even give wrestling a shot, and likes it only when the odds favor him, which is why he chose a career in boxing. So to avoid MMA, he made up an obsession with doing a hybrid fight, where they use MMA gloves and fight with old boxing rules. Anyway, Fury still wants the fans to know that the rumored fight is still very much on the table. And as we thought, the boxing GOAT and the UFC GOAT have been debating how a hypothetical fight between the two might go for the past month. With Dana doubling down on his promise to bring the fans a fight, expert Chael Sonnen said, "Hell nah," revealing how Dana White ended discussions of the rumored Jon Jones and Tyson Fury fight, where Fury didn't agree to suggest a contract. Sonnen has spilled some tea, revealing how a promoter's involvement subdued reports of the crossover super fight between Tyson Fury and Jon Jones. Sonnen claims that Dana White's involvement, which effectively ended the negotiations, was a key factor. Let's see how. So the influence of a promoter's really important here. It's like a complete game changer, especially when it comes to setting up a bout between two well-known sportsmen. Despite the emotional exchanges and challenges between Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury, the lack of a promoter reduced everything to simply chatter. Nothing, according to Sonnen, stopped conversations faster between Tyson Fury and Jon Jones than Dana White stating, "Let's do it." The scenario completely changes once a promoter's involved. You're either fighting or you're not. For now, it appears Jones versus Fury bout rumors continue to spread with no chance of happening. According to Sonnen, the fight's a dead end, while also claiming that although Dana White agreed to set up the Jones versus Fury bout at first, he had no intention of seeing it through. Sonnen explains that Dana was aware the thing would be pointless and take up valuable time. He also explained it deeper by pinpointing Dana's words, so the fans can understand it better and don't get too invested. The UFC president stated, "I'll do it," and didn't make any promises. It was there and then, when Dana put an end to any realistic prospects of seeing Jones and Fury enter the ring together by making this comment. It was a calculated action to deflect attention and avoid spending time on a conflict that probably wouldn't happen. The influence of a promoter in deciding a fight's viability is clear now, thanks to Sonnen's observations. If this is true, then he bamboozled us bad. Word on the street is White knows what's going on because he grudgingly agreed to set up the fight, only to have it vanish afterward. Fans may have to accept that the Jones versus Fury fight was never meant to happen in the end. Although Fury said he had already received an offer from the organization for a hybrid rules fight with Jones. So I guess that was all a lie. Maybe we should have taken the hint the moment Tyson said hybrid, but things in this sport are always uncertain, so you never know what the future may hold. Look, man, Jones is not a guy who'd be scared, be it boxing or be it this hybrid, whatever the hell it is. But again, Fury has called out about 15 UFC fighters and has failed all negotiations. Although he seems to have a lot of alternatives in boxing, he hasn't yet been able to book any highly anticipated matches. Guys, if we look at it, it wouldn't have worked anyways. Why? Because fans think it'd mean the end for both fighters. Everyone know they're both legends of their sport and are literally undefeated. But it'd have been worse for the Gypsy King because fans think Joe Rogan was right. And if Fury doesn't catch Bones with just one punch, it's over for him. And frankly, no disrespect to the Gypsy King either, he's definitely one of the greatest we have seen. But Jon Jones, man, the guy was literally built in a lab, and who'd want to mess with that? For those who are unfamiliar with the world of MMA, Jones is the best mixed martial artist to ever live. He's literally undefeated, and the same goes for Fury, who hasn't been defeated in 34 fights, making him one of the most accomplished and enigmatic heavyweights in the history of the sport. Only 2 opponents have ever been successful in putting Fury to sleep, but none of them have been successful in keeping him there. Jones is one man who possibly has the ability to finish that job. The UFC heavyweight champion is thought by fans to manhandle and defeat Fury with his wrestling and grappling abilities. Boxing supporters think that their fighter would be ready to handle a mixed martial artist after just 6 months of MMA training. It'd be stupid to even think Fury could stand against Jones for even a single UFC round. The way that most mixed martial artists train has something to do with why this whole situation is problematic. They generally devote years of their lives to several disciplines, be it wrestling, grappling, Thai boxing, boxing, or whatever. This is what separates MMA fighters from boxers. Even when honing their skills in only one of those areas, fighters devote well over a decade to their quest for a black belt. Another issue that Jones can pose is how he excels in wrestling. Even skilled opponents have trouble against Jones, as we saw in UFC 285. So to even think a guy who won't roll around on the floor doing well in an MMA fight is crazy enough in itself. And let's be fair, you throw that wrestling in with some elbows and those kicks that shake the world. When the other guy's only ability is a strong punch, I know where I'd be putting my money. Yeah, Rogan may have struck a nerve, but Tyson Fury wouldn't take such a risk against Jon Jones. Fury would likely knock Jones unconscious inside the ring, but Tyson wouldn't have stood a chance if the 2-fight deal would have gone through. Simple as it is, MMA and boxing are not equivalent. Like I said, it'd have been super unfair for Tyson, and he's smart enough to know he shouldn't do this. Call it ducking or whatever. I think Chael's comments only made sense because they were true. Because fans trolled Tyson about not fighting Jones in MMA, but never saw how Dana kept us in a fantasy. But in any case, whatever a hybrid battle entails, there's no doubt that the internet would break if these two actually make it official. And so, from fans being bummed out, they won't get to see their favorite fighter win, to Chael Sonnen thinking Dana was curving the big bout. This was all for Dana White, shutting down Jon Jones and Tyson Fury's UFC fight.